You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful morning this morning. God, this is going to be a fun little program. So, unfortunately, Mayor Dancy and Magnolia are off. They had some prior engagements today. So you, unfortunately, are stuck with the wild and crazy show of Doug and Stephanie. So if you've been a fan of Rutherford for more than a few years, we were kind of kidding before the show. Some of the older stuff we did before Brewtiful Mornings, I don't even remember what we were calling it back then, but gosh, this is going to be a fun little show, Stephanie. I'm excited to kind of talk about the topic, but it's good to have you back on. I know you've been on Brewtiful Mornings a few times, but good morning.
Good morning, Doug. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be back.
Yeah. So, as I kind of think about things in the community, the town has been really kind of hammered in and focused hard with housing and economic development. Obviously, that's your full-time role with the county in economic development. And, so obviously looking for quality housing for folks and then quality jobs. Mm-hmm. But moreover than that, on a day in and day out basis, what I, worry about in this community is food insecurity. And, Magnolia and the team at Rutherford Roots, and there's so many people through the Health Council and what you guys are doing at Barn to bring quality, locally sourced food to the community. And I mean, I think that's the root of, when we move away from good water, good food is the quality of life for folks, So we're going to be talking today about Barn. We're going to be talking about ways to access food, a lot of things that you guys are doing at Barn to kind of help improve the community. But I guess I'm going to turn it over to you real quick for people that don't know what Barn is and think that maybe I'm stuck in some kind of farm animal role today. Can you tell folks, what Barn is, what your mission is, and kind of what you guys are doing in the community?
Sure. So Rutherford BARN, that stands for Building Agricultural Relationships Now, is a 501c3 organization, and our mission and purpose is to help provide healthy food to folks in the community, while at the same time keeping our farmers' businesses running and improving our farmers' economic opportunities. So that means that we like to address things like food insecurity and nutrition access and education, and also some agricultural economic development. We want to encourage our farmers to participate in agritourism opportunities where possible, engage with the communities, and improve their businesses and livelihoods through farming and land stewardship and agriculture.
And so the face of that, what people see, kind of results in the farmer's market, right?
Yeah, that is like the centralized thing that we do, the product that we create, the weekly happening event that we help to run is the farmers market. And of course, our interests are a little bit broader than the farmers market, but the farmers market is actually what we do and how we function. And so we've got a couple farmers market activities that happen and that we have done in years past and that we plan to do in the future. So of course the main farmers market that everyone should be aware of. If they're not aware of already, shame on them and shame on us for not telling everybody. But there is a farmers market that happens every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to noon at 172 Park Square in Forest City. It is kind of behind Pops, and there is a shelter there.
No,
And
Pops is in front of it.
yeah, it's behind
Yeah, it's
it.
not behind Pops. It's right off the rail trail, right off of the rail trail.
Right
It's
off
the
the
main
rail-
destination on the rail trail.
Okay, yes. I think we were saying the same thing in different ways, but yeah, it's close to Pops in the proximity. It's there. If you drive around Pops, you'll wind up around the farmers market eventually. So yes,
And if you happen to get lost and you're on Main Street in Forest City, you guys put out signs that say farmers market this way.
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay. All right,
hopefully people can find that. So that's where we do like the bulk of our stuff, and our programs is actually at the farmers market. So we have farmers there, and we also encourage people to come out, and we have a lot of food access programs that we run, but I'll talk about that in just a second.
But that's
Yeah.
not the only place that people can access the farmers market.
That's right. I was just about to talk about the other locations that we have and our plans for the winter too. So we do have a Friday afternoon market in the town of Lake Lure, behind the Lake Lure Inn and Spa. I know that for like Forest City and Rutherfordton folks, that might be a little far. But think about it, for Lake Lure folks, the Forest City market is a little far. So, we want to provide that access point around the community and around the county. So this was our first year working with the Lake Lure Chamber, or the Hickory Nut Gorge Chamber, and the town of Lake Lure to host the farmers market in Lake Lure, and that has been a whole lot of fun and a really successful venture. So we're hoping that continues in that area of the county. But I'm really excited.
Well, I'm sure if Laura Doster has anything to do with it, she is making it a fun time for everybody. So they do some amazing work up there in Hickory Nut Gorge Chamber. So a shout out to those guys and what they're doing to kind of bring some outreach there. Because you're right. I mean, when you really look at, Rutherford County, there is, in my mind, a huge, huge food desert. And we won't get into a lot of that conversation right now. But, when you leave Rutherfordton and go north or west, there is a huge food desert for anybody living in the upper portions of Rutherford County.
Right.
Short of the food line in Rutherfordton and the Ingalls and Lake Lure, the access to quality produce, meats, vegetables is just it's very difficult. And so, that market serves more than Lake Lure. I mean, it serves almost the entire northern section of Rutherford County, the southern sections of Buncombe County, and the eastern sections of Henderson County. So
right.
It's definitely filling a void in there, so good work for what you guys are doing to kind of help outreach in that area. And then, hey, if you're from Rutherford, you're going up to Lake Lure for the weekend, what a better place to get your, your grill and salad stuff,
Yeah. There you go. And then this winter, we're going to go back indoors, and we're going to go back to Rutherfordton. We're super excited to go back to Rutherfordton this year. We have stayed away because of the pandemic and just feeling like we want to be on the safe side and stay kind of outdoors where there's a lot of room. So this year it's going to be in the Woodrow Jones building, on the, I think, just around the first and third Saturdays. Gosh, the first and third Saturdays of November, December, January, February, and March. So we'll be in Rutherfordton for the winter.
And with it being inside, you guys are actually been doing some fun stuff this winter too. So, kind of family-friendly environment. So not just the, access to all season produce, but you guys are going to be doing some education, outreach, and some fun stuff throughout the winter too. So what's the best way for people to kind of keep up with what you guys are up to, keep up with where the market is, and kind of have an understanding of what's available?
So I would say if you're on Facebook, you have if you're seeing us now, then you're on Facebook and you have Facebook. So please follow our page on Facebook. And Doug, you can probably link that in the comments. Yeah.
Oh, I already did.
You already did. Perfect. Okay. So follow us on Facebook and keep up with us there. We also have an email newsletter. So please, let us know if you'd like to be added to our newsletter list. We send out kind of our announcements, and then also let everybody know who is going to be at the market on Saturday mornings. And
if they're going to do that, they need to email to
Rutherford Farmers Market at gmail.com.
Perfect. Rutherford Farmers Market at gmail.com. Good deal. So that'll get you signed up for newsletters. But people can also, if food is near and dear to their heart and they want to volunteer, they drop you a line there too.
Please do. Yeah. If you're interested in supporting our market through time and talent, which is more valuable, arguably, than financial contributions, please send me an email there at that address, rutherfordfarmersmarket at gmail.com, and we will get you plugged in. Use your skill sets and your strengths to serve the community and help our farmers and local food insecurity needs out. So
yeah, because you guys, it's amazing. We were talking before the show, and there's so much work to be done, so many things that you are doing. You guys are just kind of nose to the grindstone doing them, and sometimes it's hard to get all of that information out because Barn, right now is pretty much 100% volunteer driven, correct?
Yeah, with the exception of Saturday mornings, we do have some staff that help us out right on Saturday mornings and on Friday afternoons. But with the exception of that, a lot of the bulk of the admin and making it happen is happening on a volunteer basis.
And there's so many different things that you're doing beyond the farmers market. Like I said, the farmers market is the face of what people see on a weekly basis, but the work you're doing with food pantries, the work you're doing with education and outreach to the farm community, helping our farmers grow not just their produce, but also grow their farm as a business model and understand more about agritourism, understand more about, just profitability in farming and ways for new, new outreach and new growth in new products. It's amazing kind of what you guys are doing as a volunteer organization. And then, what I see in the farmers market and through Barn is just the collaboration that you guys are building between farms. So, sharing information, sharing resources, sharing, help, sharing actual labor between farms and really kind of doing outreach there. So, don't sell yourself short. You guys are doing a lot of work. So if people are out there listening and, maybe they're like, I'm not an extrovert and the market's just not my thing.
Girl,
there's a lot of things that you can do.
I got computer work you can do. You don't have to talk to anybody, I got you.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that can be done behind the scenes where your volunteer time, it would be making a huge impact in our region.
Absolutely. And with, our farmer collaborations, it's so neat how a centralized market like that not only builds like economic relationships between customers and producers, but also from producer to producer, making friends, having someone to help cover your table, sharing resources. It's really, really great to see those relationships and connections unfold, because they are really important and meaningful for long-term business success. So it's really neat.
Yeah. The other thing that I, tell people about all the time about Barn is some of the work, that I think you were instrumental in kind of laying the seeds for, is some of the outreach that you can do to break down the barriers for access to fresh food. So if people are thinking, I don't have the resources, inflation is high, obviously food prices are reflected in inflation. And people are sitting at home going, as they're putting together their shopping list or meal planning, they're like, I just can't afford fresh lettuce. I can't afford, good quality carrots. I can't afford good quality meat or eggs or whatever the case may be for my meals for this week.
Right.
that's a myth, right? So people can come to the farmers market, and I want you to kind of explain to folks ways to pay and some of the options that kind of help break down those barriers.
Yeah, so there are a lot of programs on the federal, state, and like super local level to help people have access to fresh local fruits and vegetables. So, on the federal level, of course, there is SNAP and EBT. Um, Forgive me, I don't remember what SNAP stands for. I can look it up really quick. But if you have it and you know what it is, you know how it works. If you don't have it, it's just good information to have if you have friends or loved ones that need additional access. But for those folks that qualify for SNAP, we will double every single SNAP dollar that you spend at our farmers market. So those
What'd
dollars,
you just say?
we double every single dollar that is
So if I
spent.
only had $10, now I've got 20?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So really, we have folks that do all of their grocery shopping for the week at our market because their dollars go so much farther, and they get really high quality produce, meats, eggs, everything like that at the market. So yeah, that's probably one of our biggest and the programs that we're the most proud of, and we're super appreciative to the federal government for supporting that effort. And we're also really appreciative to Mountain Wise, which is one of the granting agencies that allows us to double those SNAP dollars, as well as we got a Facebook grant during COVID for doubling SNAP, and that has allowed us to double like everything. A lot of farmers markets are only able to double the first $20 of SNAP funds, whereas we double everything. So it starts at 20.
There's your
Hi,
answer,
Kevin.
Yep.
Yeah, so we double everything. So you can pay $5 and then get $5 back, and you can get $10 and get $10 back. It's everything, and there's no limit. So if some folks choose to spend $150 of their SNAP bucks, we will give them $300 to spend. So.
Okay, so if you are watching this right now, I want you, it's been a while since we've kind of asked for this, but I just feel so passionate about the opportunity for fresh food in our community. If you're watching this, please share this video on your Facebook, and in the comment line when you do the share, say, please check out the comments and tag the farmers market and let people know. I think that is such an underutilized resource in our community for people to understand that they can double their SNAP dollar. I mean, what an opportunity right now. Inflation is high, grocery prices are high.
Right.
If you are in a position where you're relying on SNAP, what an opportunity to kind of double your double your buying power and bring fresh produce to your family's table. Now, I know it's not going to be all of your SNAP dollars, but if you look at a portion of your spending, what an opportunity to kind of just, one, support our local farmers, but two, support your family with high quality fruits, vegetables, and meats and everything. So I think it's an underutilized resource. I just ask everybody to kind of help spread the word on that, to support our farming community and to support fresh access to food.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, so that's the federal thing that we do. The state level comes in for WIC recipients and senior citizens. So WIC recipients and then the senior citizens who qualify would get vouchers directly from those offices. So directly from the senior center, directly from the WIC office, they get vouchers to spend at the farmers market directly with our farmers. So that's a really great program. This year, we were able to bring our farmers to the senior center for some pop-up, just like brief little markets, a couple, just like a handful of farmers that are able to attend those. But hey, a couple of farmers being able to bring their fresh fruits and vegetables directly to the folks that want them and need them is really, really huge. And we did notice that a lot of our seniors in the community have struggles with transportation. So like a lot of the ones that qualify for this program maybe couldn't even make it out to the farmers market on Saturday morning. So we were like, well, let's bring the farmers market to them. So they get transportation to the senior center on the weekdays, and when they are there, we have tried to bring that program to them too. So we're hoping that also continues. We've been really pleased with how that's gone.
All right, so to kind of help build some engagement this morning, the other thing I want to ask everybody to do, we've got a pretty good audience going right now. I want you to drop in the comments, and we'll show the comments obviously like we normally do here. Drop in the comments, what is your favorite farm or vendor at the farmers market, and what is your most favorite thing to buy from them? So like if you choose Vandale Farms and you said their maple breakfast sausage, that would be, an answer. So you could do with that, or you could go with, oh my gosh, I am going to draw a blank on Bob's Farm's name. But Deer Valley and his smoked trout. I mean, so
slap your mama good.
Slap everybody in your family who ever tried to make it good.
Yeah.
So throw your stuff in there and let us know, and we'll share those. We'll share all that information.
Yeah, I think my favorites are the mushrooms from 6 Points Mushroom Farm.
Well, you and Mr. Kevin Lane have something in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron commented Green Hillworm Farm.
Aaron,
I can't eat worms.
But the worm castings do make some great produce. I mean,
they do. Yeah. So not only
and they've had a tough year this year. So supporting Green Hill Worm Farm is a good opportunity too. So
it is. Well, and that kind of leads me to like another really cool fact about SNAP at the farmers market. But you can use your SNAP dollars to buy plants that grow food. So in the spring, when the farmers were bringing their seedlings, folks could use their SNAP dollars to buy tomato plants, cucumber plants, like anything that would grow them food. Those dollars qualify for those products. It's really cool. So then you could get your Green Hill worm castings and grow your own garden and also get a little bit more food security that way, just by a little bit of self-sufficiency.
How cool.
It's really
all
neat.
Right. So we talked a lot about Barn. We've talked a lot about what you guys do in the community. Definitely all volunteer based. I mean, there is some funding for, the day of the market to help, kind of manage that. But again, that's just the face. That's the pinnacle, the tip of the iceberg above the water that people see. They don't see everything, under the water of what you guys are doing behind the scenes to lift up that market. So
yeah.
It's a team effort. It's a lot of energy. It's funding as well. And you guys being a nonprofit, unfortunately, with the downturn in the economy, you guys are experiencing what a lot of people are experiencing is funders are pulling back. A lot of our funders in this community, or funders for food insecurity, rely on good interest rates, and they're pulling the funding capability from interest and preserving their principal balance to fund programs. And it's been tough. I mean, we've experienced that here at the town through different programs that we've been doing and funders we've relied on, and trying to find new ways to crowdsource and to look for new partnerships with different folks or different funding sources. So I know that's hit you guys hard. And nobody wants to talk about financial woes. Nobody wants to talk about the need for money. That's an uncomfortable situation. But when we talk about a product that you guys are able to deliver, and what the farmers market can do to our community, what Barn does for access to fresh quality foods to support our farming network, I want you to kind of talk through, how that's been a challenge for you guys, and then, what you guys are getting ready to launch into, so that, if this is something that's near and dear to your heart, dropping an extra $5 or $10 or $20 or whatever you feel comfortable giving on a weekly basis or a monthly basis to help support that, will help support you guys long term. So I want you to kind of talk a minute about, what that means for you guys, and then kind of what you're launching into.
Yeah. So So yes, not only has has the funding support kind of decreased, but I think that the expenses and the capital needs have increased because labor is more expensive, and and the economy overall is just a little bit challenging right now. So if we do pay people, we want to make sure that they're getting a wage that reflects that and that honors the situation that we're in. But that has become more challenging. It's like a positive feedback loop. So yeah, it's been a little bit interesting and a little bit stressful this year because we want to just run our farmers market and do these great programs in the community. Fundraising is a necessary thing for nonprofits, of course, but we just want to do our thing. We just want to run our market. But all that said, our great partner, Aaron Alexander with Hoop House Digital, he helps a lot with our marketing and our promotions for our market. And he is also Rutherford County agriculture supporter. He volunteered last year with Rough and Roots a lot and helped Bob at Deer Valley Farm. So he has been a real huge agriculture supporter and Rutherford County supporter. And so he is helping us kind of with this launch of what we're calling the Make the Market Go Round campaign. So from now until December, or as long as it takes, we're going to be doing some outreach and some other fundraising activities to help raise some funds so that we can hire a dedicated individual to really impact the market in a great way. So someone really to kind of take the lead on visioning and implementation and administration, those really important things that happen behind the scenes, totally separate from being at the market on Saturday mornings. We need that person, we need that drive. We recognize that a lot of folks want to fund cool stuff and cool things, but without great people, we can't do the good stuff. So we need to fund and support the people that make it happen. So our campaign is people centric. So that's why we're asking for both volunteer support as well as financial support, because it's really, that's the heart and soul of the organization, how it can be sustainable long term.
Yeah. Well, I applaud you guys for kind of taking that bold step to do that. I mean, like I said, nobody really wants to talk about fundraising. It's not at least for me, it's not an easy ask, to kind of be humble and to say kind of what the needs are. So, for you guys to take that bold step as a committee and as a board to reach out to people, to help them understand that their dollar is going towards the perpetuation of fresh foods and produce in our community through barns. So, you're right. I mean, we can have the nicest farmers market and building, and Forest City and RHI Legacy and many other funders are working really hard to create a new state-of-the-art, world-class farmers market pavilion in Forest City. But we can have the nicest building, the best coolers, the best farmers, but without having good leadership to bring all that together, doesn't mean we're going to have the best market on Saturday. And so you got to fund everything together. And, the last thing we want to do is not have Rutherford Barn here to kind of bring all those programs, because, we've just kind of talked really briefly on high level on some of the things you're doing. Another program that I think about is some of the funding that you guys have where farmers can actually give some of their product to food pantries. So you guys are partnering with Rutherford Roots. When we're able to take some of the produce that came to the market that's not sold, we can then take that produce, put it in with our grown produce at Rutherford Roots through the volunteers we have there. And then that's going straight into local food banks. And when people are coming to pick up their food for the week, they're getting fresh produce as well. So, there's so many different things that you guys are involved with. And so, it's one of the safest ways to donate where you can see your money be used in the community.
Yeah, and to talk just a teeny bit more on the donation, like the farmers aren't being asked to sacrifice their bottom line in order to get their products into the food pantries. We are paying the farmers for their products because, again, we recognize the economic significance of making sure that farmers have successful businesses, and so that's our desire, is to make sure that they're compensated fairly, and that they're taking home their income, their well-earned income, as well as donating to folks that are in need.
Yeah. And, people might be sitting there listening this morning. They're going, oh, well, Barn, you've got all this money. You got all these people, giving you money to do SNAP programs and WIC programs. And you've got, money that you're making from the farmers market and money that you're providing for the farmers. And you hit on something, Stephanie, that's very challenging. And I feel it too from the town side. We were talking about this before the show. A lot of our funders, and I love our funders and partners to death, so I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but a lot of times we're able to seek out grant programs that fund either a capital expense, so something new, a new farmers market building, a new refrigerator, a new cooler, a new vehicle. And those are great. Those are great opportunities for us to leverage those to continue to grow whatever we're doing. And then a lot of times funders want to fund programs. So they want to fund, just like you talked about, they want to fund a program where they can pay the farmer and then it donates. But a lot of times funders don't want to fund people, and it takes good quality people to pull off good quality programs and good quality capital projects. And so, you guys taking the bold leap to kind of do some local crowdsourcing and local fundraising to have good quality people, I think speaks to the leadership that you guys are trying to do to have good programs, which you're obviously doing, and working on good capital projects. So hats off to you guys at Barn. I know that you are the kind of the director or the president, whatever hat you wear at Barn, whatever you want to call yourself. But but I do also want to say that there's a good committee of folks that you're working with that have kind of come together to take this bold leap. And so I just want to say thank you to you guys for your leadership on that.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. We appreciate you having us here to talk about it. And yeah, I mean, it kind of feels weird to get into the weeds about this nitty gritty stuff, but then also it's like really important and refreshing to really be open about everything and totally transparent. Cause if we have funding for a program, that funding is for that program, and it's not going to be taken away to do anything else. And so, we want to make sure that we maintain everything. And it's like, all these pillars that have to stand completely straight and lift up the structure and the foundation to create a nice barn.
Are you trying to throw a dad joke in there at the end?
Listen, you've been throwing dad jokes in this whole time, just like really, really small and subtle. I haven't called you on it directly, but I've noticed.
It's all right.
Oh, Kevin.
All right. So, all right. So as we kind of wrap up, I've shared some links in our comments. You guys have been great commenting this morning. Again, please share this. This is probably one of the most important topics we've covered in quite some time. We've covered some great stuff on Brewtiful Mornings of late. Because like I said, I mean, quality food is the heart of our community, in my opinion. When we leave the access to good quality, clean water, food is next. Housing, jobs, they are vitally important and right up there. But you've got to have all of those core components. And so hats off again to what you guys are doing. But so I've shared some comments in the links. You can go on and you can check out the campaign. Tell us the name of the campaign again.
Make the market go round.
Make the market go round. I like that. So the links are in there for the PayPal for that. We've got the links in there to Rutherford County Farmers Market, their Facebook page. We've got the email address direct to the crown lady, the queen, the king, the princess, whatever you want to call, at Gmail. That email address is in there. So if you want to volunteer, if you want to help anything with the market, or if you just want to stay engaged and get signed up for their newsletter, make sure you're doing that. set your calendar now for every Friday through when. So when do you guys kind of cut off what you call your summer or your growing season market at Forest City? When does that go?
Oh, so Forest City Market will go until the end of October. So
End of October, every Saturday in October, you need to be in Forest City. And then starting in
November 1st. I think it's going to be the first
November,
weekend in November. Yeah, let me look at my calendar really
the
quick.
first and third Saturdays, you need to be in downtown Rutherford at the Woodrow Jones Building, which is the former post office on the corner of North Main and Court.
Mm-hmm.
Come check us out for the Winners Market. So I may be putting you on the spot for this one, but what are you most excited about for tomorrow's market?
Oh, for tomorrow's market. Oh, that's a good question. I think I'm, again, the mushrooms. I don't think that they're gonna be there next week, so I'm gonna be like missing them. But I think other than that, tomatoes are they're in just full swing. So we've got like the tomatoes that are like really, really good. Dollar Down Farm has had figs. I'm a fig fiend. I have a fig tree in my backyard that's like this tall. So I don't have any figs of my own yet, so I've got to get them. So I think for me, I think figs, but it's so hard to choose. Like Henley Honey has some really excellent honey. There's watermelons. Thanks, Aaron. Seven Oaks Farm usually has like a huge variety of things, like from eggplants and cucumbers and carrots. I mean, just huge variety. So yeah, and we're getting to that point where it's starting to switch from like the full summer crops to the fall crops, which are all wonderful. And thanks to some great season extending techniques like hoop houses and high tunnels, our winter market stays flush with produce because in this area, you can pretty much grow food all year round with just a little bit of protection from the elements. You can
Look it up, folks. It's the isothermal belt. Look it up.
Yes. Fun fact Friday.
Friday. Look it up. If you don't know what the isothermal belt is, look it up. Google it, Wikipedia it, educate yourself. It's good stuff.
Yeah. But I mean,
That's why we live here.
When we're in a climate of, we've had some uncertainty from the supply chain, we've had some uncertainty from the pricing, and we don't know where the economy is going to go. We're experiencing some inflation right now, so to me, like, it seems like it's a no-brainer to shop local, because then you know exactly where your supply chain is. It's in your backyard. You know exactly who your money is going to. It's going to your local farmer. And then where are those dollars going? You can go back to the income multiplier effect. If you are paying your farmer who lives here in the community, they are paying the local feed store, they are paying the local garden center, they are paying their employees who then shop at the farmer's market and pay that farmer. Like, it all stays right here in the community. I think for community,
you would think you might work at like the economic development office or something. I mean,
it's one of my passions, and I think that it's really, really important for community health and community stability and sustainability is local economy.
Yeah, I mean, love them to death, but Food Lion and Ingles are not paying for your kids' T-ball sponsorship.
That's right.
So think about those things. We're all hyper focused on what is the absolute cheapest product. Is that really where we want to be focused? When you step back and think about the impact of what that cheap product means.
Well, and
what does that mean long term? And so, does the 50 cents that you give up? Yeah, your health. We could go all day. We could go all day on
literally,
that. But,
we could, yes.
But that 50 cents that you bypassed at whatever farm you want to think of for a head of lettuce, did it really save you? Did it really save you? And so just to think about those things, just encourage you with your buying habits to think through those things. I mean, I joke I've got my Main Street coffee mug here, but I mean, some of the things we talk about from Main Street businesses, and Stephanie, when she was here at her role at the town and helping with Main Street, I mean, the same principle goes there. I mean, it becomes, and I'm just going to be bluntly honest here with the viewers that we have, is, it becomes very challenging for the community to have this vision and dream of Main Street, of what you envisioned of yesteryear. But when was the last time you went to Hills Hardware to buy something? When was the last time you went to Main Street Coffee and Ice Cream with the kids to get something? When was the last time you went downtown to do something? Everybody has this vision of what they want it to be, but in order to do that, you have to support it. And so, Ellen, we're going to have you on the show. That is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. Before you head on the highway, what can I get in Rutherford? And that's the mindset of support for farmers market, support for Main Street, support for any local business, and that circle economy that stays right here. When you hand your dollar to somebody that you know, instead of handing your dollar to somebody that you'll never see before, so never see again. So anyway, we'll get off our bandwagon. For those that are following us on our yearly advertisements, tonight was supposed to have been a movie night in Kiwanis Park. We did have to unfortunately postpone that to next Friday. So the movies in the park will not be this Friday. It will be next Friday, the 19th. So please go enjoy the park. By all means, have fun in the park. Bring your own movies, watch them on your own portable screens out there if you want to. But next Friday will be movies in the park at Kiwanis Park. And I think that's the main part of the announcements that I had from events and activities in Rutherfordton. Any events and activities that you have from either Barn or Rutherford County Economic Development, Stephanie?
Well, I don't have anything like immediate. I don't have here's my event calendar. Let me look. What's today? Tomorrow. Well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a food truck at the farmers market tomorrow, but I do need to confirm that. And if we do, it's gonna be Arapitas on the go. The best way to know for sure, though, is to go ahead and follow our Facebook page, and we'll give you up to the minute updates on what's going on.
Have you been over, speaking of Arapitas on the go, have you been over to their Carolina's Quick Stop on Highway 64?
I haven't yet, but I want to so bad. Their food looks so good.
It is. Y'all just go in there.
Okay. Yeah, I love what
I went last week for breakfast.
Top notch. Cool.
Top notch. And I have not personally been for lunch, but the litmus test for me is like if I get good feedback from our fire department, and I think they are like frequent flyers now. They've been hooked. Whatever Rosie's putting in for seasoning, they're just going back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking
of Kevin, they are doing breakfast. Go check them out. Carolina's Quick Stop. I'm not sure if they're on Facebook. I know they're on Instagram. You could probably link through them through Arapitas. Reach out to Rosie, stop in and check them out. But they're doing a breakfast menu, and then they're also doing a lunch menu at Carolina's Quick Stop, which is on Highway 64 in Ruth. So just as you turn on Highway 64 to head north towards the Hudlow area. So it's directly on your right-hand side. So not far from the intersection of Railroad Avenue, maybe less than a quarter mile. That's about right.
Yeah, it's really close. Yeah.
All right. So before we ramble on and talk all day and nobody watches anymore, Stephanie, thank you so much for being on this morning. It was fun to have you back on. Appreciate the work you guys are doing with Barn. So just to kind of recap, tomorrow morning, Forest City, Pops is right in front of the farmers market. So, you get a great view of Pops from the farmers market, and the Pops has a great view of the farmers market. So it's in that general area. You can figure it out. You guys will have the cool signs that say farmers market this way, right?
Yeah. Follow those signs.
Follow the signs. Then you can get to it off of Oak Street behind the police department. You can get to it on Oak Street right there at Florence Mill. And the new place is going to be right on the corner, right? So you guys will be right on Oak Street.
Yeah.
On the corner right there at the Florence Mill where the restrooms are and the Thermal Belt Rail Trail. It's going to be amazing if you haven't seen the conceptual designs for that. But check them out tomorrow. If you feel compelled, encourage you to donate. We're kind of going into the fall season. So we're talking about the wrap up of kind of the summer produce, but we're starting to maybe hear signs of things that are pumpkin spiced. So which sometimes can go into the season of giving and Thanksgiving. And so if you feel compelled, maybe this is a great opportunity for your fall giving to look at Rutherford Barn to help them kind of sustain their operations. So appreciate what you guys are doing. I also heard rumor that there was some stronger partnerships forging with Barn and some of your farmers and Main Street Market when the market moves into their new location. So maybe that was too early to say, but the market is going to have some more places to be marketing things.
Yeah. I know that our farmers really appreciate Main Street Market and what they do to have their products available. I mean, it's just another great economic outlet for our local producers. So we want to encourage that every chance we can.
But yeah, again, thank you everybody for joining us. Like I said, share the great news about Rutherford Barn. Use Facebook as a platform for what it was supposed to do. Encourage you to share this video, share the information about Barn, share their campaign for fundraising. Go check them out. Let people know about the Double Down for SNAP and EBT. Let people know about the opportunity for seniors through the Senior Center for WICS and some of the Senior Center outreach they're doing. So many different great ways that they're helping get food out into the community. We probably missed about 4 different things, and we'll have to have you back on in like a month.
I know, I think that there's other programs that we missed talking about, but that's okay. Just email me. I'll fill you in. Yeah.
Or just go to the market and strike up a conversation,
Yeah.
All right. Well, Stephanie, again, thank you. Thanks for being on. Good luck tomorrow at the market. Good luck with your fundraising campaign. And let's get together. Maybe we've got the kind of the growing season. The market's going to be in Forest City to the end of October, every Saturday from 8 to 12. 8 to noon. And then starting in November, first and third Saturdays throughout the fall and winter at the Woodrow Jones Building here in Rutherfordton. So definitely, as we make that transition, love to have you guys back on. Maybe get some more folks from Barn or some of the farmers to showcase some of the stuff for the winter market. Anything we missed, and maybe we get an update on the fundraising campaign at that time too.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Great.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Have a wonderful Friday. Again, Movies in the Park is next Friday, not this Friday. So Friday the 19th, not Friday the 12th. Hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and look forward to seeing everybody out at the farmers market tomorrow.
Yeah. See you there.
All right. Have a good day.
We combined. You know I can't deny it. Intertwined. Send the skin so close to mine. You gotta be such a mystery for me. Blow my mind. I just can't deny. Replay in my mind of you. Things you wanna do to me. Replay in my mind of you. You're gonna reputation. I'm not gonna hide this. You're gonna reputation. I'm not gonna hide. You go free. I love everything we're being. You're gonna my reputation. My reputation.